One of the big issues in the city is we've had a lot of water quantity issues during the summer. During peak seasons, we've had low pressure. We fought kind of between whether we add more wells or we add storage, but the big piece has always been funding. New wells are costing about $3 million right now. This tank ultimately cost $4.5 million, which was more than our initial estimate, but for a number of reasons, the cost of steel and concrete and labor went up significantly. In September of 2016, we signed an agreement with the EDA for $1.2 million. And that was the first funding that came, and we were going to fund the rest using reserve funds. We started moving forward with the contracts with the engineers that were required to design it. Just about a year ago, on the 26th of June last year, we were in the same place. This was a vacant lot. We were doing the ribbon cutting for this project. At the same time, the state of California, with the help of Senator Hurtado and some of her legislative colleagues, we were able to obtain an additional $3 million for water infrastructure projects. And that's going to allow us not only to fund this, but also to fund another water well. City Council just approved contracts on that new well last week for the drill and development. So thanks to all these sources, we're finally being able to address some of the water issues that should last us for quite a while, provide safe, clean, and affordable water to the community, and also allow for growth. This took just about a year to build. We just brought it online about a week and a half ago. We're still going through some testing and some adjusting. They were out here this morning working on it. If you look on the side there, you can see that piece is coming down as the water's filling up. It's filling up right now at about 800 gallons per minute. It'll fill up till tonight, and then it'll be full to hit our peak loads, which start about 7:30. This site design is actually designed for 2 tanks, so we have piping built in to at some point accommodate another tank that would look just like this, and it would be in this area here. I also want to put out some thanks before we get going to the people that really made this happen, the team. It takes a collaborative team to put a project like this together. There's a lot of different details and moving parts. Probably one of the key players, at least from my office, is Josh Rogers from Yamabe & Horn. He's our city engineer. Through Yamabe & Horn's team and Josh, we were able to really have oversight of this whole project. Again, we've got funding from USDA for $1.2 million. Through Governor Newsom and Senator Hurtado and the legislative colleagues, we had funding for $3 million towards water infrastructure. Carollo Engineering did the design. Provost and Pritchard Engineering did the inspections. We had Steve Duvall Construction construct it, and Telstar Instruments and Controls did all the instruments, designs, implementation programs, and they're still working here. They were here this morning doing some more adjustments. I was looking for Daniel Galvez. He's the former City of Sanger Management Analyst. He's taken a position starting last week as a Public Works Director for the City of Kingsburg. I want to thank him greatly as well. Carla Cameron and the staff and Administrative Services Department, they're helping me with all the grant details, the payments, getting all the AP out. And then also with Parks and Recreation, we've got Joaquin and Wendy here and Isabel to help set this all up this morning. And probably mostly is the support from the mayor and the city council and city manager to make sure we push this project through. So it's been a great project. Like I said, it's taken about a year and it's completed. So again, thank you all for coming out. Next on the agenda, I'll have the mayor come up and say a few words. Mayor
Thank you for coming out. This is a great occasion for the city of Sanger. Firstly, I want to welcome everybody on behalf of the entire city council. Me as the mayor just want to welcome everybody who showed up today. And, a lot of times people look at, you guys are celebrating a tank. It's kind of, it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but you know what? This is something that we have to do to, look for, towards the future. The future of Sanger, our movement north for our annexation project, and the needs of the people today. So, you heard John, rattle off a whole list of names of people that helped. This is a total team effort. It's just not one person coming up and coming up with this idea. This takes a whole team. And in the city of Sanger, I think that we are a well-gelled team. Starting from, the city manager, all his staff, the city council, realizing that this is something that needed to be done. It had to be done, and it ultimately got done with the help of the entire team. And I just want to say thank you, John, thank you, city manager, thank you for the staff and everybody that put forth the effort to make this happen. With this happening and us executing it in such a way that the EDA wants to work with us again. So that, is a testament to the staff and to the council, so that, we know what we're doing. We're planning for the future. And I'll leave with that and just say thank you very much for coming, and thank you, John. You did an awesome job. Thank you.
This water tank is located in District 1, and we have Council Member Esmeralda Hurtado. If you could come up and say a few words, please.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. My name's Esmeralda Hurtado, and I represent District 1. And I just want to, thank everybody who has been a part of this project. This water tank means a lot for the city of Sanger. It's going to be supplying our residents here in the area. And it's very significant because it's mostly planning for the future and not just thinking about today, but thinking about the future. So this will help with our growth for here in the city and for more expansion. And I look forward to seeing our city of Sanger grow. Just wanted to welcome everybody and thank you for being here. And thank you everybody who's been a part of this project and has made this happen. And the city council as well for having a project like this completed within a year. And everybody who has been funding this project as well. I know my sister, Senator Melissa Hurtado, has provided some of the funding also from the state. So I just want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of this beautiful project. Thank you, everybody.
Well, to introduce everybody that's here, elected officials, we have Senator Melissa Hurtado. We have Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Martinez. Councilmember Eli Ontiveros. Mayor Frank Gonzalez. Councilmember Esmeralda Hurtado. We have City Manager Tim Chapa. So next I'm going to bring up Senator Hurtado to kind of give a discussion on this. If you could come up, please.
Good morning, everyone. What an exciting day, don't you think?
Yes.
Good, I'm glad to hear. As a lifelong resident of Sanger, I know our community has been waiting for this moment for way too long. We are all too familiar when we tell our loved ones not to drink from the water faucet or from the water hose. We are all too familiar with going to Gong's or Costco to purchase water for drinking. We are all too familiar with hot summers and minimal water coming out when we're showering. We know better than any part of the state that water is health. We know better than any other part of the state that water is life. This water tank represents the right to live, and no community should have to wait this long for this basic human right. This water tank also represents years of effort by community members and city leaders in securing funding for a basic human right. I applauded the mayor, council members in their relentless effort to procure funding at the state level. When a community is united, a lot can be accomplished. I also want to thank the pro tem, the governor, the speaker, my colleagues in the legislature for prioritizing safe drinking water in our budget. Securing these funds were also made possible by all the hard work of legislative staff, including a big supporter in the pro tem's office, Mr. Kip Lipper. And of course, our very own Jacob Villagomez from the city of Sanger, Mary Valdez, our legislative director, James, who is present here today, Carmen, and the entire staff of our Senate district. As mentioned earlier, it takes an entire team to make something like this happen. Folks, the work is not done here. I look forward to working with you and others to making sure that this is the first of many celebrations to come across our Senate district. Thank you.
I will say he's a great guy. He was instrumental at the legislative level of knocking on the right doors and supporting the right things to get these done. So I'm going to have Councilmember Hurtado come up and do a presentation for him. He couldn't come. He was planning on coming, but we're going to still move forward with the presentation.
For the mayor to come up and help me present this key to the city. So the city council wanted to present a key to the city for Kip Lipper. He has been a great help for the city in providing the funding and seeking the funding to complete this project. And with his help, he was not only able to get us a new water tank, but he's also helping to provide a new well. So that will be coming up as well. So we just wanted to thank Kip. He's been very helpful in this process. And I know he will continue to be along with his colleagues from Sacramento. And I want to thank Senator Hurtado as well. But this is a key to the city for Kip Lipper for his great help that he has been for the city.
Entire Senate district, which was a total of $15 million. And the $15 million we helped secure in last year's budget. And I know some of you, or many of you, know that it was a fight that we had to take on once again this year to make sure that that funding, the $15 million that was secured last year, remained in the budget this year, so that communities like Sanger can enjoy, those benefits that we helped secure last year. So he's been very helpful and instrumental in making sure that he helps us navigate the process. And I know there's been emails going back and forth, and who do we need to contact, and he's been very instrumental and helpful in that end, and we wanted to make sure that credit is given where credit is due. So thank you once again, and on behalf of Mr. Lipper, thank you.
We also have EBCP filtrations. The nitrate filtration systems are very expensive, so we've had that well on standby because occasionally it would test positive. What that device over there does is it takes water from that well. We're able to bring it back online. It's a $3 million well. We just had rehab before we took it off. And then it also combines water that runs down Church Avenue from the rest of our system. It combines it. There's a nitrate analyzer on it. It's all fully automated. And that pumps into this tank. Right now we're about half level. So that was another benefit of the project. It was actually we were able to bring more production back on, so we were able to bring another well back online. And then over here, these are booster pumps. There's 3 of them. 2 of them run. Again, they're pressure controlled. And those come on and those actually shoot the water into the system under pressure, and it pressurizes the whole city. When we've had this running over the last couple of weeks, with the exception of a few minor glitches, we've been able to keep consistent pressures all through from the peak periods and in the morning peak periods. So once we get all that dialed in, get all the electronics set, I think we're going to be good for quite a while. And like I said, we're moving on the other well. That'll probably take about a year and a half before that's back online. But if you have any questions, I can answer them. Feel free to walk around. Like back there, there's an open manhole. There is a pylon by it, but other than that, you should be able to safely move about. So thanks again for coming out.